Tajweed. So far, we have discussed the preservation of the Quran from the point of view of its linguistic content, the words and verses that make it up. Amazingly, we can take things a step further. In addition to the mass memorization of the content of the Quran, another unique aspect of its preservation is that the rules and regulations for pronouncing each individual letter have also been safeguarded. This ensures that Muslims not only recite the same content as Prophet Muhammad, but also in exactly the same style. You may be wondering to yourself, why is this important? Perhaps the easiest way to appreciate the significance of preserving the recitation style of the Quran is a comparison with the game of Chinese whispers. Readers in the US may know this game as telephone. Just in case you are not familiar with this game, it involves a group of people whispering the same message to each other, starting with the first person. They will whisper a message to the person next to them, who will then do the same with the person next to them, and so on and so forth until the message reaches the last person in the group. You then compare the message between the first and last person to see how much it has changed. Typically, what you find is that by the time the message reaches the final person, it has changed significantly. Let's take a look at a simple example to make things clear. Imagine the first person says the following message to the person next to them. We are going to advance, send reinforcements. This person then passes on the message but shortens. We are, because the first person spoke very quickly, we're going to advance, send reinforcements. The next person then passes on the message as follows and changes advance, because the second person didn't pronounce the letter V correctly. We're going to a dance, send reinforcements. Finally, the last person changes the end of the message because English is not their first language and they are unfamiliar with the word reinforcements. We're going to a dance, send for sense. As you can see, there are very various reasons why the message has changed by the time it reaches the ear of the last person. For example, the people in the group may speak at different speeds. They may intonate their words differently, and they may even have different regional accents, which could lead to letters of the alphabet being pronounced differently. Ultimately, what this demonstrates is that without a systematic means of ensuring the preservation of the recitation style of the Quran, that is, the correct pronunciation of each letter of the Arabic alphabet, the speed of its recitation, the stopping points in the verses, and so on. Its mass memorization would be like a giant unsupervised game of Chinese whispers. changes would inevitably creep in over time, as they did in the Bible. What inspired Muslims to pay such attention to detail when God revealed the Quran to Prophet Muhammad? It was recited to him in a specific manner. The Quran itself commands Muslims to recite it in this same specific way. Recite the Quran slowly and distinctly. Therefore, Muslims throughout history have placed great importance on how they recite the Quran. This has led to the creation of an intricate science known as Tajweed. Tajweed sets out rules and regulations to preserve Prophet Muhammad's recitation style. The fact that today we can find millions of Muslims of all different nationalities who are able to recite the Quran as if they themselves were Arabs living during the time of Prophet Muhammad is proof of the effectiveness of this science in preserving the oral integrity of the text. This is in spite of the fact that there is no internationally centralized religious organization to administer such preservation. Further evidence for the reliability of this method of preserving the Quran is in the recitation of the Quran itself in millions of mosques throughout the world. Every day these memorizers who originate from different parts of the world and learnt at the feet of different scholars mix together and recite the Quran with one another. Any mistakes in recitation are immediately corrected by the congregation, and yet there is never any disagreement about the Quran itself. Now you can appreciate why Muslims have certainty in the perfect preservation of the Quran. Not only do we have to believe in from a theological perspective, but we also know it to be true from a historical and experiential language. As has been discussed so far, the Quran has been preserved in both content and recitation style. To this we can add that the Quran has also been preserved in meaning. Why is this important? You can't separate language from scripture. As God states below, the Quran is tied to the Arabic language. We have made it an a Quran in Arabic. So if we were to lose the Arabic language, we would also lose